Good evening and welcome to your Northern Gunners Gonna Get Your podcast with myself, Lewis Roper, Tom Mason, Matthew Simkis. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, mate. Tom, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. Yeah, good after our first win in the league of the season.
Everything's good now, full of positivity.
This podcast is going to be full of positivity. Absolutely full of positivity because the Weatherspoons was cheap when we went to London.
No 50 quid rounds in the Emirates this time.
No, and it was 2 for 1 beer as well, so Gary got away with it, didn't
he? Yeah.
But let's start on the game then. So Norwich at home, we managed to get a first class train. Was it on the way there or the way back?
The way back.
It was on the way. That was on the way back. That, but train up to London to see us against Norwich. First of all, what did you think of the lineup and how do you think it went?
I think it was fairly close to our strongest team. I mean, obviously, when Partey's fit, he'll start. But maybe Smith Rowe's snap when he's fully fit as well. And you could argue Pepe could be in there, but it's roughly our best one, quite close to our best starting 11 on Saturday. And I was pleased with Tomiyasu. I thought he played well. I mean, he looked tired going into the second half, but from what I saw from in the first half, I think he's going to be good. We look much more solid with Gabriel at the back. Ramsdale just a joy to watch, just the way he looks like a fan playing in the team. He just loves everything that's going on, and he's so confident as well. I mean, the way he came for crosses, the way he's passing is, it's such a. I mean, I'm a big Leno fan, but it's such a breath of fresh air seeing Ramsdale just play without the weight of the world on his shoulders. Whereas that's what Leno looks like he plays like at the minute, just like he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. So it was nice to see the new signings, and I thought the Congo played well again. I think Maitland-Niles did all right. I mean, I think he's got a lot to learn if he's going to really push for centre midfield in any team, not even Arsenal. But he did all right, and he looked all right when he went back to right back as well. So I think there's a lot of positives to take. I mean, I'd like to have seen a few more goals, but overall, I thought it was all right, something to smile about. And I thought Smith Rowe played very well when he came on as well. So, yeah, I'm quite happy, really.
Yeah, and what did you think, Tom, about the game then and Tomiyasu at the right back?
Yeah, good. This was the first time we've seen Arteta's team, shall we say, play this season. Lots of positives. Tomiyasu, like you say, came in first game, did really well. He's only had a few training sessions, but he looked really solid and looked like he'd already settled in quite well, really. Ramsdale making his home debut. Didn't put a foot wrong. Granted, he didn't have a lot to do, but like Matt said, he just sort of exuded confidence, and you could see that when the defenders were making a block, how much he was over to him, geeing him up. You know, he's already like an integral part of the team. So yeah, it was really good seeing him. Partey coming on made a difference. Lokonga and Maitland-Niles obviously starting in midfield. They did well, but you could tell the different class that he brought to the midfield when he came on. His pass for setting up, nearly setting up the goal was really, really good. Defence, splitting pass. It was good. It was good. Just good to see us play with a bit of positivity. I think we had 30 shots, which is unheard of this season. So yeah, it was really good to see.
Yeah, and I think as well, it was good to see Ben White and Gabriel play in the middle as well, which was good. I think that really steadied us in defence. I mean, I think Gabriel made, right at the end, a good block along with Cedric as well. But I just think we looked more composed as a team. There was times of the game where we was getting a bit frustrated. But apart from that, I think overall, a 1-0 win. Could have scored a couple more. But a win's a win, it will move on to Burnley on weekend.
Yeah,
I think it was very important to get that win on Saturday. I mean, I don't even want to think what it would have been like if we hadn't got the 3 points against Norwich. I know there's a lot of people out there saying that we scraped to win and 1-0, but even though the score was only 1-0, I don't ever feel like we were scraping it. I think for the full 90 minutes, barring very rare odd chances, half chances really, like them couple of blocks you mentioned that Norwich had, I don't think we were really troubled over the 90 minutes. I mean, when you played in the Premier League, even if you control the game for 80, 90 minutes, the opposition's always going to have a sniff. I mean, they've got players like Pookie and stuff that can make things happen, but I thought we controlled the game pretty much for the full length of it. I thought it was quite composed, and you could argue we could have had 3 or 4 more goals if we'd have been a bit more settled in front of goal.
Yeah, 100%. And Tom, just to bring you in when you said Ramsdale came in, I think he had a very good game. I was talking to you at the game and you think that's it now for Leno. Are you still feeling that way, or do you think he may come back in against Burnley and Spurs?
Yeah, I mean, my personal opinion, I think that'll be it for Leno. I have seen some reports today that Arteta's promised in the Spurs game, which I can't really see, to be honest with you. I don't know how true the reports are, but I'd be amazed if he's promising players starting positions. Ramsdale has done nothing to warrant being dropped so far. Like I said, his game's all about confidence. He gives confidence to the defence as well, which is so important. It's all right having a good defence in front of you, but if you're not too sure about the keeper behind you, it affects the defenders as well. So yeah, really impressed with Ramsdale. His footwork's great. His passing's good as well. He can break the lines with his passing. He's not just oof it up the pitch. You can see he's actually picking his passes, which is good to see. Good footwork as well on him. So yeah, I do think Leno's going to struggle to get back in.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to take a lot for him to break back into the first starting team. But who knows? Maybe this is what Leno needs: a bit of proper competition, maybe a wake-up call. But I personally agree with Tom. I think this will be the slow decline and the end of him at Arsenal. I think come next transfer window, he'll be moving on to somewhere else.
Which isn't a bad thing, really, is it? I mean, Ramsdale did look a lot better. I mean, don't get me wrong, Leno is a good keeper, but just the way that Ramsdale was moving it out of his feet a lot quicker when Gabriel made that block and he was clapping him. You don't really see that from Leno.
No,
and he commanded his box.
Yeah, he did. There's such a there's a visible difference in confidence level and belief at the minute, and Leno just doesn't have any at the minute. Whether whoever's fault that is or whatever situation has led to that, he's just Ramsdale looks like the more confident and stronger player to have in the team at the moment.
So moving on to the Burnley game then on Saturday, I mean, how do you think that'll pan out then? Do you think he'll go with the same team? Do you think Partey will come in and start the full 90 minutes of Smith Rowe? How do you think that'll come out, Tom?
Well, I'm hoping he'll stick to a fairly similar team. I'd like to see Partey come back into the midfield. I think that gives us a little bit more solidity in there. Obviously, he's a world-class player. So, yeah, I'd like to see him come back in. But I'd like him to play the same defence, obviously barring injuries. I think it's important that the defensive unit plays a run of games together so they can learn how each other, the strengths and weaknesses of each other and form a proper solid unit. Burnley will be a tough game. It always is. We don't have a great record up there. You know what Burnley are all about, and the centre-back's going to have to be on form to deal with it, as it Chris Wood up front for them. Yeah. You know what, he's going to give you a tough game. Backing in, elbowing, you know what he's all about. So, yeah, tough one really. Sean Dyche has just signed a new contract as well, so it might give him a bit of a G up. But, yeah, I'm confident we can still get a win, but I think it will be a tough game.
I think most games are going to be tough for us this year. I don't think there's going to be a game that we're going to go into where I think we're 100% nailed on there. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, true.
I think it'll be a fairly similar team. I agree. I think Partey will probably start, and I think Smith will sneak back in. I think he'll put Holding back in instead of White just for the physicality. But
I think he's still injured, you know.
Oh, is he?
3 weeks out, I see now.
Oh, I didn't realise. Well, yeah, we'll probably still the same defence then. My only thinking was that he might put Holding in if he was fit because of how tall and strong he is and good in the air. But to be fair, I mean, I know I've not seen it on telly yet, but from memory of the game, which is quite clouded due to the day's drinking. But I can't remember Gabriel or White really missing or losing the aerial battle. Not one that sticks out that majorly caused any issues.
No, I don't think they did.
And Gabriel's quite physical in his own right. I mean, he's likes to get stuck in. He's big and he's strong, so I think we'll be all right. So, and it would be nice to follow up Saturday with a win, because Burnley is a place we struggle to get the 3 points normally.
Yeah, build a bit of momentum.
Yeah, especially going into the North London derby.
Yeah.
Yes, so I think we'll go with score predictions then. I'll start. I think I'm going to go for a 2-1 win to us. I think this will be the start of us going places, really. So hopefully, we'll get the 3 points here and then bring on Spurs. But yeah, I'm going for 2-1. I think Gabriel's going to be the first goal scorer as well.
Oof.
Get the money on that now.
Yeah.
See, personally, I think we're going to win 3-0.
Confident.
The thing, there's a type of team Burnley are. They have scraped some or conceded a fair few. And I think it's going to be this conceded fair few, and I think we're going to keep a clean sheet, and I think we're going to win 3-0.
I like that.
At some point, because let's be right, on Saturday against Norwich, and don't get me wrong, Norwich are the greatest ever side to play in the Premier League, but they're not a bad side at all. And there was a lot of times in that game where we had very close and convertible chances. At some point, that's going to click, and I think that's going to be against Burnley.
Confident. I like it. I'm going to agree with Lewis. I think it's going to be 2-1. I think we'll have enough to beat them, but obviously we are still fairly raw in this team. It's still a fairly new team. I think it'll take a bit longer for us to click, and Burnley aren't the type of team just to let us play. They're going to be at us, flying into challenges. They know how to play against the so-called bigger teams. They just rough it up, and yeah, I think it'll be a tough one, but I think we'll win 2-1.
You've got to be impressed with Burnley, though, because they've never really suffered from that sort of, you get promoted, you have a good season, and then people slowly work you out. Dyche has been good at sort of keeping them mutating or evolving enough to sort of not get to the point where people have worked them out, and they are good at digging out victories.
Yeah,
they must be boring to watch
up there in Burnley.
Yeah, they are boring to watch, Lewis. That's right.
There must be, being a season ticket holder for a team like that must be painful. I know we're not having the best of seasons, but Christ, sitting watching that every week.
Pretty grim. But that's to be fair, that's how they've managed to survive in the Premier League. They haven't got the resources or the financial backing to go out and buy the players to change the style. So they stick to a style they know they can produce with the players they've got. And like Matt said, to be fair, they've done all right. They've done all right doing it. Yeah, it's not the greatest to watch, but they're an established Premier League team now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're now to survive. They're now to do enough to survive, and you can't really knock them for it.
No.
But apart from that, I get to go to the game again on Saturday, which I'm happy about. Travelling up again. I tell you what, though, last week, I must have gone 3 days feeling absolutely drained from getting up at 5.
It was a long day Saturday, wasn't it?
Away games I could get away with. It's a couple of hour drive, get up there, get back. But we do it all again against Spurs as well on the coach, Tetley bus.
Yeah.
That'll be more draining. We've got like 11 hours on the coach there and back.
And me with my Achilles bumhole, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no first class for the Spurs trip, is there?
No, it's tight spaces and little toilets.
Yeah,
we're not sitting near the toilet either.
It's your favourite spot, isn't it? Hanging around toilets.
In my Weinstein. So we'll try and get James who's coming with us to the Tottenham game after the Tottenham game on this, and talk about how he saw it as well. That'd be quite good to do.
Yeah, we'll get him on as a guest. But yes, thank you for listening to this podcast. Thank you for liking. Yes, but we'll go again after Burnley, and then we'll build up the North London derby. We'll talk about a few points and go from there. But yes, thank you for coming on, lads. Appreciate it.
Thanks
No
for having
worries.
us.
Thanks for having us.